Welcome to the Mentor Training module for the Visual and Performing Arts. My name is Rachel Hoke, and I will be serving as the lead mentor for the Visual and Performing Arts content areas. So when we talk about mentoring in the Visual and Performing Arts, we are talking about dance, media arts, music, theater, and visual arts teachers who are new to the profession or new to the state of Delaware and being certified to teach in our state. To introduce this program, this is a revision to the Comprehensive Induction Program that is currently mandated by DDOE for all new teachers. And it was created as a result of research from the University of South Carolina. In the name of full disclosure, this is something that I personally began researching several years ago, and it's part of my dissertation research for my doctorate at the University of South Carolina. So as a component of this program, I will be collecting data from any new teachers who are willing to engage in a survey and an interview with me as part of the process. One thing that I discovered as I've been conducting this research is that we use mentoring currently as a professional development strategy to help train and retain new teachers. However, the most crucial thing that we can do to make this mentoring effective is providing new teachers with an assigned mentor teacher who teaches in their same grade level or same subject area. Some things that we know from the research are that mentoring can help new teachers perform as well or better than experienced teachers when we look at the performance of teachers based on student achievement. So, namely test scores. But we found that providing mentoring to new teachers helps them enable their students to achieve just as much as the students in a classroom with a teacher who is vastly experienced. And even though mentoring can help with this, we know that new teachers don't come to us just ready to go. We know that they still need assistance when they first enter the classroom. And the two areas that new teachers themselves have identified as areas of need are content knowledge and pedagogical skills, which are unfortunately the two areas that usually their mentor in the current program is unable to provide them because they don't teach in the same content area and they don't have that knowledge and that skill that is specifically applicable to their subject area. When we are able to provide mentoring that is content specific, it leads to better outcomes for new teachers. So what do we mean by better outcomes? Here's what we're up against. Poor job satisfaction is the root of over 45% of all teacher attrition. And we've found that nearly 30% of new arts teachers feel that they are poorly satisfied with their jobs. So we would consider them to be at high risk of leaving their job or leaving the profession, which is certainly something we don't want in order to provide continuity and consistency for our students. Some obstacles that they are facing that are unique to arts teachers, and part of the reason that we've chosen to target this population with this intervention is specifically professional isolation. Now, certainly, as we're all teaching virtually, isolation is an issue for all of us, but even pre-pandemic teaching, arts teachers were often the only person in their building who teaches their subject area, sometimes the only person in several buildings or in a whole district or charter. They're physically isolated from other teachers who do the same job that they do. Secondly, our arts teachers often experience marginalization, meaning they're marginalized within the school community. They're not treated as equal to the real teachers, the core subject teachers, reading and math, the subjects that are on the standardized tests. Many arts teachers experience a school setting where they're treated like second-class teachers. And having a mentor who doesn't understand that can be really difficult. They're not able to help them problem solve and troubleshoot and work around that. And also to recover from it, just personally, the toll that it takes on their job satisfaction and well-being. We know that job satisfaction is composed of personal factors, your personality, your own goals, strengths, needs, and also institutional factors. That would be things like the amount of administrative support that you're receiving, what your classroom management situation is like, the amount of self-efficacy that you feel with relation to your classroom management. Those institutional factors are the ones that we can impact through mentoring. Our goal is to help our new teachers feel like they're not on an island, as the only art teacher or music teacher or dance teacher or whatever out there, and they're just operating in survival mode, trying to get through the year. Our goal is to give them the tools that they need to feel confident in what they're doing, which will lead them to be more effective for their students. And ultimately, all of these things are going to contribute to lowering attrition. Right now, we know that as many as 50% of new teachers leave the profession after their first year. And that's what we're ultimately fighting against. Fortunately, we know that mentoring can provide as much as an 18% reduction in new teacher attrition. However, when we make that mentoring content specific, tailored to fit their content area, it reduces new teacher attrition by 30%, which is a huge difference. Now, for arts teachers who are the only person of their content area in their building, we have to deliver this virtually, even when we're all back to teaching in person in the classroom. These supports are going to have to be delivered over a distance in order to be able to give them the same benefit that teachers in other content areas are already seeing. So two of the ways that mentoring can help are by providing pedagogy and content knowledge from their mentor. So we will be making content-specific mentor pairings, trying to give you a new teacher who is in a position as similar as possible to your own. So as we train this large pool of mentors, we now have people from all different grade levels, districts, content areas, specialties, and we'll wait and see where our new hires are. And when we have a new hire, we will go into this pool of mentors and choose the person who has the most similar position, who's able to give them the most context-related support. The two most important components of mentoring are collaboration and support. Part of collaboration is having common planning time. There's a crazy statistic that shows that alone can reduce new teacher attrition by as much as 43%. You'll be accomplishing this during weekly meetings with your new teacher. This can be walking them through how to plan a lesson, modeling how you plan lessons or units, troubleshooting areas of concern, problem solving, whatever you see fit. Another aspect of this will be two-way observations, which means you observe them and provide some feedback on their teaching, and then you allow them to observe you. Sometimes they'll be doing this in order to see you as an exemplary teacher, but sometimes they just need the opportunity to see you in both successful and unsuccessful classroom management scenarios. So don't shy away from allowing them to observe a class that you fear might not go the way you hope. It gives an opportunity for what we call critical dialogue, where you are able to position yourself as a learner and model what it looks like to reflect on why a class didn't go the way you wanted it to, and how you plan to problem solve, what you plan to do next time. Excuse me. The support that you'll be providing, your mentee is most likely to seek out your assistance for emotional support. This is usually related to stress from classroom management scenarios. That tends to be a big focus of first-year teachers. And they'll also be seeking instructional and contextual support. So you know better than anybody else, even in their own building, what their specific arts classroom is like and what issues they're going to encounter. So you're in a unique position to provide them with support that really fits the context of what they do as an arts teacher. And here's where you come in. Some characteristics of what makes an individual mentor effective A lot of the terms in this graphic we've already talked about. You need to be knowledgeable about your content, your pedagogical skills. You need to be open to collaboration and providing support. Um, Other important things, I know this one is the hardest for me. You need to be willing to relinquish control. Allow your new teacher to make mistakes so that they can learn from them. And then help them talk through why it didn't work, and how they'll have a better plan for next time. Let them watch you be innovative and let them watch you make mistakes so that they understand that that's part of innovative teaching. Is sometimes it's trial and error. But most importantly, allow them to see you being reflective and analytic as you evaluate what's working and what's not and why, and how you can continually improve. You'll be taking on a lot of different roles in your relationship with your mentee. Sometimes you'll be modeling effective teaching. Sometimes you'll be acting as a supervisor, making sure they get their licensure paperwork in on time. Sometimes you'll be a validator, offering support, reminding them that a lot of the things that go wrong in our classrooms are out of our control, and allowing them to let that go and only take responsibility for the things that they can control. Sometimes you'll be a guide, guiding them through collaborative planning, implementation, and reflection. So let's get a little more specific. Your responsibilities as a mentor in this specific program. You will be paired with a new teacher who is in either year 1 or year 2 of the mentoring program. I can tell you that this year, 2020 and 2021, you will all be paired with someone who is in year 1, because we are piloting it with year 1 teachers this year. And then our goal is that you will start working with this new teacher this year and continue on through year 2. During this time, you're going to conduct weekly collaborative meetings. These can be used for whatever you see fit. Some of the suggestions I put up here are common planning time, helping to plan lessons or units, curriculum, problem solving. Maybe there's an issue going on in their classroom with behavior or discipline, and they just need an experienced person's eyes and ears on it. Sharing resources. Actually, one resource for that is going to be our Schoology group. I'm going to create folders for all the different content areas. And if you have resources that you think new teachers might benefit from, even if it's not your new teacher, I encourage you to upload files into those folders so that others can benefit from them. Sometimes you'll be using these meetings as sort of a mock pre or post observation conference for your new teacher to help them get used to that DPAS evaluation process with administrators. Throughout all of this, you're going to be maintaining a mentor log along with your mentee. This is sort of a joint responsibility. It just tracks what you've done and when, for their purposes, so that they can verify that they've completed the program and can get licensed, for your purposes, so you can get paid. So I encourage you to find a way to do that that is a shared document, perhaps a Google Doc or something where you both have access, to ensure that all of your record keeping is up to date. You'll also be conducting two-way observations, where you observe them and they observe you. We're going to talk about that more on the next slide because it takes up a lot of space. At the end of the year, you're going to complete the verification of services form, which just verifies you've provided services. And you're going to communicate with your site coordinator in order to receive your stipend. That is the person who controls the money for you. This may not entirely be accurate. They may be doing this on paper through what's called a supplemental form. We're also currently working on an option for them to be able to do this electronically, but we are waiting on the newest version of Deeds to be up and running, which has not yet happened. So stay tuned on that. But again, that's an end of the year kind of concern. For now, all you need to worry about is just making sure you know who your site coordinator is in your building or district. So let's talk more about two-way observations. These are going to happen. You're going to observe your new teacher 4 times throughout the year. You're going to do your best to space them out so that they have time to make some growth in between. These can be virtual. Even if we are back in the classroom teaching, they can still be virtual, since you are probably not working in the same building. You are certainly not expected to go drive over to your new teacher's building to observe their classroom. They can be synchronous or asynchronous, using whatever platform is comfortable for both of you. You can certainly, if you're teaching classes on Zoom right now, you can certainly invite them to observe your class. Or if you were teaching in the classroom, you could start a Zoom meeting, and just record it and send it to them later. You could simply record a video on your smartphone, or use whatever platform works for the two of you. If you have concerns about video in the classroom and privacy and that type of thing, you could certainly, in a virtual class, have your students turn off their cameras if they're uncomfortable. Or if you're in a physical classroom, you could place the camera behind your students, so it's just focused on you, if you or your school district has concerns about student privacy. As you conduct these observations of your new teacher, you're going to be filling out an observation log, which sort of guides you through different DPAS components to focus on. Each observation focuses on a different component, and the log will guide you through all of that. You don't have to figure it out. At your weekly meetings, before or after these observations, you'll use that meeting as sort of a mock pre and post conference. You'll complete a discussion log, which again will guide you through this process to help your new teacher get used to the administrative observation and feedback cycle. The other half of this is that you're going to allow the new teacher to observe you 4 times throughout the school year, which again can occur at any time, but we recommend that you space them out as much as possible, so that they're able to see different snapshots of the school year, maybe different classes or different grade levels, whatever you feel is appropriate. Again, these will be conducted virtually, synchronously, asynchronously, whatever works best for you and your new teacher. And they similarly will be filling out an observation log as they attend or watch your recording that corresponds with the specific DPAS goal that they're working on at that moment. So here's where this falls within the big picture of the comprehensive induction program. The program did change recently compared to when many of us went through it. It is now 4 years rather than 3. However, you are only responsible for the items that are listed here in red. So year 1 and year 2, weekly mentor meetings, the observations that you are doing of your new teacher, and the observations you're allowing them to do of your teaching. All of those other responsibilities in gray are on the new teacher to complete. After year 2, they no longer have an individual mentor. So when they are in year 3 and year 4, they will be communicating primarily with myself as their lead mentor and also their site coordinator. Some resources for you as we go through this. Your primary resource is the Schoology group. That should be the one that has the icon that looks just like this picture on the screen. You should already be in the Schoology group if you are seeing this video. Please keep in mind, it is through your ELDE account, not your school account. So you may have to go up to that top right corner and click the drop down to switch accounts. Please also keep in mind that it is a group, not a course. So make sure you're looking under the groups tab to access it. And then all of the items that I'm talking about here are listed in the resources section. If you have done all of those things and you still can't access it, please let me know, and I will get that remedied for you. Also in that group, you will find our Arts Comprehensive Induction Program Handbook, which has the details of every single item that you need to complete, every single item the new teacher needs to complete, a timeline, how to do it, all the links to the forms you need. Everything is right there for you. There's also a summary, which is very similar to the slide you just saw, where it just lays out everything by year. And then finally, there's a link there to the DDOE materials. If you should happen to be going through the handbook and looking for a form or something, there's a broken link, something like that. You can get all of the originals right from the DDOE website. These links are live, so if you view the slides from this presentation in the Schoology group, you should be able to click right on those links to see those items. These are some of your important contacts as you go through this process. As I've mentioned, I am your lead mentor for all of the visual and performing arts content areas. So I am here to be a resource to both you and your new teacher partner. Please do not hesitate to reach out and contact me. I've put my email address up there for now since we are not in the building. I don't have a work phone number at the moment, but you all have my email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible if you reach out. Your site coordinator, again, please check with your district or charter if you don't already know who your site coordinator is. They should be the one who controls most of the paperwork. They are the one you will submit the verification of services form to, and they are the one who makes sure that you get paid. Over in the blue box, you will see DOE contacts. Lauren Conrad is our new Visual and Performing Arts Education Associate. She can help you with all things content related. And Tiffany Green is our Comprehensive Induction Program Supervisor at DOE. You will probably be hearing from her throughout the year about specific paperwork that needs to be filed relative to the mentoring program. If you are just super into research, here are just some of the sources that were referenced in the statistics that were cited. But more importantly, here are your next steps. The tasks that you need to take care of at this time are to go into the Schoology group and review the program handbook. Please keep in mind, you are only really worried about year 1 and year 2. You are only going to get a year 1 teacher this year. And I can tell you right now, your responsibilities are exactly the same in year 1 and year 2. So don't bother to read it twice unless you're just really curious about the whole program. After you have done that, please complete the training assurance form. There is a link to this form up in our Schoology group. And it is a very brief form, but it mostly lets me verify your data as far as the building and district and grade level and content area you teach, just in case that has changed over the summer since I originally heard from some of you. And it also asks you to verify that you have, in fact, completed this training either with me in real time or by watching this video. You cannot be paired with a new mentor until you have completed both the training and the training assurance. And lastly, I will be contacting you when you get matched with a new teacher. As I said, we're waiting to see what staff get hired, and then we're going into this pool of mentors who have completed their requirements and finding the person who most closely matches their position. I can tell you that the deadline for matching new teachers and mentors is October 15th. So you should be expecting to hear from me before that date. Normally we would be doing this during the first couple weeks of school with the staggered starts and starts pushed back a little bit and late hiring. This may happen a little farther into September this year than normal. So we certainly appreciate your patience. But if you have any questions before then, please don't hesitate to reach out. So if you could complete these 3 steps that are currently on the screen, that is all you need to do at this point until you are matched with a new teacher. And then I will be placing you in contact for you to get started on the tasks that are actually in that handbook. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to me. Email is the best way to reach me. However, if you'd like to have a Zoom meeting or phone meeting, I'm certainly open to that as well. All you have to do is let me know and I will make that happen. Thank you so much for your willingness to participate in this program. As much as I believe in the effectiveness of content-specific mentoring, I can't make it happen if I don't have excellent mentors. So thank you so much. You guys are what is making this happen. And if you need anything at all, please let me know.